this is the lifestyle he had. He wanted to live a Western lifestyle. He wanted to have one wife, 2 children, a house, a TV, a car, and he wanted them to speak English. And unfortunately, I felt very sad for him because I see his wonderful culture and his traditions, their beautiful dancing and singing, and everything they do is going to be lost in the future because he thinks the Western world is the best way to go. My experiences in Zanzibar tell me it's not the right way to go.
I was talking about this to somebody the other day, how the Western way of life seems to be idolized and it's destroying everything.
If we want to use a word to describe it, I think he was correct in his choice of words. And I think the Western world lives a very plastic life. Yeah.
It is, and it's, Western culture, Western capitalism is just really the end of everything. And
You have a lady there wants to just say something?
That word plastic, it sticks with me so strongly because I just did 3 months study abroad in Italy, and I came back home April 30th. And, obviously we're not too far off from that date. Now we're here. And I told everyone when I came back, cultural, cultural shock does not happen when you go somewhere. It happens when you come back. And I really, truly believe that because when I went to Italy, I was, my first time out of the country. Wow, this is beautiful. I'm learning the language. I'm learning the culture. It's amazing. But when I came back to the States, I was in a shock. I felt, and it wasn't just the jet lag, it was the people and the fake, the not real life that was going on. Because when I travel, people talk to me about real issues. When I came home, so easily people were like, oh my God, like Instagram this, and it was so fake. And it wasn't just my peers. I noticed, with this new vision I have of the world, got to see, unfortunately, America, we hold a lot of artificialness. It's like the catalog country of the world, and everywhere else is like kind of picking and choosing what's good and bad, and it's just this very interesting concept. So I definitely agree that we shouldn't let go of these cultures or these languages, because when we do, and if we are going to follow into, westernized culture is so amazing, we're going to look back and we're going to regret. We're going to have to start all over and figure out a new natural way of living, and all of the beautiful lessons that were learned in the past will kind of be washed away, and I pray that that does not happen. But that was my...
What time are we? I'm conscious that we've not overrun. Are we okay? Oh, what fantastic news. That's really good.
My question is not only to speaker, but also those of you who have learned second language in your lifetime. Then I want to ask how you learn, because my native language is Korean, and we learned English early on, but we learn from the book. We know the grammar, but we don't speak after 12 years later. So I know probably more about English grammar than
I do.
Because I know my
friends. Than I do. I'm quite sure you know more than I do.
I was shocked to know that American girl didn't know what gerund means, but Indians, we know what gerund means, ing. You know. So, but when I was in my 20s, I moved to South America, so I learned Spanish. So it was easy, rather, than English. But I came here. I'm one of the Rai University faculty, and I came to live in India. And I thought learning Hindi is just okay, but where I based is Gujarat, so I have to learn Gujarati, which is different from Hindi. And one of the luxury of being in India is you have a lot of people around you can help you, but they don't speak a word of English. So whatever I do have to do with body language or learn the language. So what is the secret to learn?
So on my website, I'm going to put up a post, and in there's 16 points that I think are really, really important about learning a new language.
Okay.
And I won't do all the 16 points, but at the end of the session, if you want, I'll give you the link and you can go and have a look at the post.
Okay.
One of the things I talked about earlier is this idea of being a baby. The thing that we want to be when we're learning a language is that we want to be adult. We want it to come out fluent and flow beautifully. And when we're learning a language, it doesn't. It comes out like a baby speaks. So you've got to think like a baby. You've got to be prepared to make the mistakes. But what you don't need is, you don't really need a teacher who's going to be constantly telling you that you've made a mistake. You need a mum. You need somebody who's repeating it back to you correctly without you really having it. How do you say? You don't want to feel negative about your learning experience, else you'll do exactly what you've said, which is you just don't speak. So you need someone who's happy to just nudge you and say, you've done that wrong again. My Spanish is not fluent. My sons cringe when I speak. And people will say to me, at lunchtime today, I went and introduced myself to the people here from Madrid. And, oh, you speak Spanish? And I said, yeah, with an English accent. But no, we understand you. That's the most important thing, is to be confident enough that whatever you say will be understood. And if you do it with a smile, of course, it helps a lot. And then you can then get yourself a little dictionary and build on that, so that you're building your confidence daily. So that's learning 3 new words a day, practicing a sentence, taking it just to the next level, maybe deciding that you need to learn, for example, today I'm going to learn the days of the week, or the numbers, or just fruit and vegetables, whatever it is, just so that you've got the vocabulary, no, I can't even say the word, the vocab, to be able to take your language to the next level. And they always say, and joking aside, but if you want to learn a language and you want to learn it quickly, get yourself a partner who speaks it. So that's another opportunity. And another thing is to have a glass of wine, because red wine, as we've heard, helps a lot. It's a dry city, no alcohol. So you can't do that then. So you have to... Oh, well, there we are then. So find yourself a husband. I don't think there's anything else really I want to add. It does concern me that we're moving into a new era, a new lifestyle, and that the internet is definitely manipulating or moving us into this new lifestyle. And that one of the fallouts from this will probably be that we won't have all these wonderful and diverse languages, and therefore all these wonderful and diverse cultures. And it's up to us, I think, as we've already spoken, to start and save them now whilst we can. Because in those cultures, like we've talked about the American Indian cultures, there's so much information that I'm sure we can use in the future. And it will be sad to lose it.
Have you read this book by Malvin Bragg called The Story of English, or The History of English?
No.
It's all about how English has developed over the centuries.
And it's still developing.
And it's still developing. And it's a brilliant read, because it reads like a history of conquest and war and fight. And it talks about, you know, how every invasion of England has brought new languages and the old ways of, and it's a fascinating read from a, what's the history of language? The etymology, is it? Yeah. So from that aspect, it's really interesting. And the way that it's portrayed is kind of, you can link that then to the spread of English and see how it's still going on. That English is this ferocious invading force that is taking everything out in its wake.
So if we take that to the next level, and I had a very interesting conversation with a girlfriend of mine who's a headmistress in a junior school in the UK, and her decision at school is she's not going to mark children down for using text language, because now they're so busy.
Their language.
It's their language.
Yeah.
So English is already changing in such a big, big way that we're going to lose.
We're going to lose.
Well, are we going? Maybe losing is the wrong word. It's going to develop into something else, and it will be a text language. Here we go. Pat doesn't agree with this one.
No, I do totally agree because, you know, English isn't just about the countries that people from England have conquered, it's about the people who have conquered England.
Mhm.
And of course, there was a time when the French had conquered England and there was the Norman court.
Mhm.
And the French language runs very strongly through English. I was a civil servant for a number of years, and we were told that in the civil service we mainly spoke court French because we used the words that were derived from French.
Mhm.
And we were taught, in order to communicate to the masses, we needed to stop speaking in French, which we didn't know we were doing, and speak in Anglo-Saxon. So instead of saying something was large, it was big. You know, so some of the newspapers in the UK, like The Sun and The Mirror, people read them because they're written in Anglo-Saxon.
Mhm.
They're written in very understandable English. Whereas if you start talking about foibles and even entrepreneurs, these are French words. And a lot of people think, I don't get that, that's not who I am.
Mhm.
So English is very complex in the Roman, the German, the French, the Indian that we have taken into our language, the Greek, it's all there, and now it's kind of going out and getting other bits added to it.
Yeah, exactly.
In that, when you look at it, when you think about that, then you get the patriotic types in our country, and I use that word, you know, because they're not patriotic at all, but they're saying they can't speak English. We shouldn't. Like, what is English? English is such a bastardization of so many other languages. What is English? What is British? It's all immigrants. It's all immigration. It's all the movement and flow of people across the world has created this language, and it is fascinating. But yeah,
So the only universal language we have
is love.
is the language of. So we just have to remember when we leave here to do everything with love. Okay, thank you.
Learning starts from the birth and it will be continuous. As I heard from my teachers, it is continuous, it has got no end. Because since we are born, we'll be learning, every moment we'll be learning things.
And when we stop learning?
Yeah, because of mom, or maybe our needs. Maybe walking or communicating between individuals will be called as language, but it has got several forms. But I thank Madam for giving more understanding about this learning process. Whatever is known to us was very little. She gave more broad understanding about that. So with this, I thank Madam for giving a good session. And also I invite one of the audience to present her the award.
Oh my goodness.
This is the award. May I now request her to present the award, please. Thank you.